What's up, everybody? It's me, it's AlexisMaurice, and my co-host, Mr.
Trei Hollywood.
And it is time for an all-new episode of The Wind Up. Tonight, we are talking about Lil Nas X's new video, Jesus Christ, and how all of the church folks is pissed off with him, so much so that he had to issue an apology. We're also going to be talking about my church here in Atlanta, the Dream Center Church of Atlanta, that made news because we swag and we serve.
Y'all went viral. Y'all went viral.
So we're we're also going to be talking about all of the drama with Taraji Henson. No, Taraji P. Henson.
You said Taraji Henson.
Taraji P. Henson has been making a lot of waves over the last couple of weeks when it comes to her talking about the disparities, when it comes to pay, when it comes to African-American actresses. There's this alleged beef that's going on between her and Oprah Winfrey that don't nobody know where that even came from. We're going to talk about Vivica A. Fox's subtle shade towards Taraji and what Monique had to say. And then we're also going to be talking about Katt Williams a little bit. We're going to touch on that. I know it's an old subject, but I want to hear Trei's opinion when it came to Katt Williams. So go ahead, pour yourself a glass of wine, pull up a chair, pull up some lipsticks, because it is time for a new episode of The Wind Up. Go ahead and like this video, share it on all of your social media platforms. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, and make sure that you comment and let us know what you're thinking. Also, comment below and let us know what you're drinking on today. Where's your wine? Where's your liquor?
It's over there.
Well, go get it. You need to get you some wine and pour yourself a glass of wine. Here we go.
But this one here, I already had started drinking it. But
St. Francis Cabernet Sauvignon. Oh, that's my favorite. Oh, I cannot wait to taste that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Cabernet Sauvignon is my favorite, actually.
It's good to know. Make sure I get more.
But Happy New Year to everyone. This is our first official show of 2024. Did you cut your finger?
I did.
Oh, but we need to sue St. Francis wine, child.
Shit.
They bottles
for
is
real.
Not safe. Oh.
My finger is bleeding.
You light-skinned people are so dramatic. Oh my God.
This is the bloopers, okay? That bloopers behind the scenes. This is what happened.
How the hell you cut your damn finger on the bottle of wine?
I'm about to show you. Make sure you say these bloopers. Oh, Lord. You see this right here? That.
Oh, you cut yourself on the plastic wrap.
There ain't no plastic.
It's not plastic, like some type of foil or something. I don't know.
That part. I'm back. Like I never left.
Lil Nas X had a new video that recently came out. Now, this particular video has a lot of the Christian people up in an uproar because they feel that Lil Nas X is making a mockery of Jesus Christ. He's dressed up as Jesus or whatever, and he has on very revealing clothing. I think he has like a sex tattoo or some type of jewelry on his neck with long extensions in his hair. He's parading around like a cheerleader, and then people feel like he's making a mockery of the sacraments. So, Trei, when you saw Lil Nas X video, what did you think about it? Like, do you like the song, or did you think the video is artistic expression, or is he stepping on the toes of some of the Christians?
We all know that I'm a huge fan of Lil Nas. I love his creativity. I love how he is unapologetic, and he does things for what he feels needs to be done music-wise. As far as the song, I'm not really a big fan of the song. However, I do like the video. I like the creativity of the video, and I feel like what he was trying to convey in the video was taken out of context. Well, in the 4 days it had been out, it has over 6 million views. So obviously people were watching it. He did what he needed to do to actually get people to watch it. I actually enjoy the video over the song. And usually that's kind of different because usually people put out a song and maybe need the video to help people like the song a little more. But I don't know. I mean, it's opposite for me with this time.
His songs are always like a cute little bop to me, but his songs isn't something that I go to my playlist on iTunes and I go find Lil Nas X's song and gotta listen to it. It's just not it for me. But I do appreciate him as an artist. I think the problem with Lil Nas X is he's done so much trolling through the years that for me, everything he does feels like a gimmick. It feels like a stunt, or it feels like a show. And historically, it always feels like he's trying to piss people off as well, too. I think this time, though, he pissed off the wrong group of people by making mockery of Jesus Christ. Lil Nas X did another video like a couple of years ago when he went down to hell and he was giving the devil a lap dance, rode the stripper pole to hell. It's not uncommon or it's not unfamiliar that he has, you know, done something like this. But I think for a lot of Christians, you making a mockery of Jesus Christ and the sacraments, you know, taking communion and things of that nature, it was just a lot for some people.
Well, this is what gets me is that people constantly attack the things that he do, or people of the homosexual community do. But then there are heterosexual rappers who do things like that. It's not people that's really that more upset. You know, I have a stepmother who used to always tell me there's no sin bigger than the other sin, right? But then you have people like, and I'm not attacking anyone else, but like, say for example, Nelly and Shanti, who have been in a relationship, got back in a relationship, and supposedly are pregnant, but they're not married. So there's a sin there, right?
You got Lil Boosie who got some woman allegedly to go down on his 13, 14-year-old son, a grown-ass woman, to do that. That's not looked at.
But that, you know, that's the thing is, so like, he's so against the homosexual community, but he's always constantly mad at things like Lil Nas or things that we do. But if you think about it, he had a song that came out back in the day where he said he had two girls kissing in the back seat of the car. You know?
Two red bones kissing in the back seat. I like girls who like girls that attract me.
And so, like, make it make sense. I feel like people are constantly trying to find reasons to dislike what he do when he's actually just being creative. And creative music is supposed to be what you do. You're supposed to be creative.
But to my point though, Trey, you don't think that because he does all of these stunts and shows and gimmicks, you don't think it kind of takes away from his artistry just a little bit?
No, because think about even the stuff that Lady Gaga does stuff like that. Doja Cat, she does stuff like that, you know. So no, it's a part of being an artist.
But wait, the difference I think between Doja Cat, Kanye, Lady Gaga is usually when they kind of come out with statement pieces, they make the statement. They talk about why they did this or why they're doing this or why they're expressing themselves like that. Lil Nas X just be putting shit out there and he's just like, in your face, bitch.
Why should he have to explain it? Because if he comes out explaining it, they're still not going to believe him because he's a homosexual.
But if it's artistic, if you're being artistic and you're making a statement, it makes sense to tell us what the hell is you trying to say versus just putting it out there and then you just be like, fuck y'all. Hence why I think a lot of people aren't here for his apology, because he decided to go on Instagram Live and he issued an apology to the Christian community for the video, and his intentions was not to offend.
I do apologize for that. I will say I am sorry for that. That was overboard. I know, like, you know, I messed up like really bad this time. And I can act unbothered all I want, but it's definitely like taking a mental toll on me.
And he said the intentions behind the song was to basically, he's coming back. I'm assuming he's gonna have a new album coming out soon. He's back in music like how Jesus Christ came back and he rose from the dead.
Yeah.
If that was the case, you should have just said that from the beginning, child.
So he should have did an interview or a live video explaining what his song and his video was going to be before putting it out. What's the purpose of having a video come out when you're telling the video before it even comes out?
Because, Trey, you know this is probably going to be controversial. He knew this was going to be controversial. Hence why some of the previews that he put out, you know, had people already hyped to see it. So once it came out, I think the responsible thing to do as an artist is to kind of give us an explanation and tell the people.
And this is what he did.
What is your intention?
What is what he did. People don't allow you the time frame to actually come out and explain yourself of a video without attacking you first. But if you think about it, because there was even times when Kanye West came out with an album, he was on the cross. He was saying he was Jesus. People call Beyonce Jesus or God or whatever. Y'all say she practices Illuminati and she got people in a trance and everything. I think the thing about it is that people just need to understand that people are different. People are unique.
And you can't be that.
And if you do something that offends someone, people need to be more accepting to people's apology and understand that, you know what, okay, I received that it bothered you. I see where you're coming from. I see how that made me look. I apologize. apologize. Like,
But Trey,
understand.
one of the last times he did something, he tried to apologize about it. Then he basically started off apologizing, but then tell everybody basically to kiss his ass. So if you're doing that,
Sometimes you gotta do that.
Ain't nobody gonna take you serious if you keep doing stuff like that.
This is my thing. This is my thing.
But what is your thing?
People either gonna support or people not. Mm-hmm. But you know what? They still gonna listen to the music and they still gonna watch the video. Why? Because they're gonna have a topic to talk about. Because they can't speak on it if they ain't listen or watch it. You know what? My advice to Lil Nas: continue to do what the fuck you doing and fuck the people who hate him. Shit.
Well, that's what Trey says. I thought it was very big of him to apologize. He didn't have to do it. I think like his grandma or somebody had to call him. One of them church moms had to call him. It's like, now little boy, now we done let you be out here popping your pussy. We done let you put all these tracks and wear all these cheerleader uniforms. We done let you do what you do. I ain't even say nothing to your ass when you rode the stripper pole down the hell. But what you not gonna do is not going to be blasphemous. I think it was an old hip hop person, Hurricane Chris. He had a lot to say about Lil Nas X. You don't play with the Lord. I just find it so weird that when it comes to, which it should be, when it comes to the Lord, everybody, rappers have all of this religion. When it comes to talking about murdering people and drugs, they have absolutely nothing to say.
It's when it comes to the gays, okay? That's what it is. It's okay for a heterosexual to do it, but a homosexual to do it, it's a huge problem.
You see when Lil Boosie said that he is not trying to be no woman, he don't do things that women do. Because I think somebody asked him that he had his nipples pierced. He said women don't need to be competing with other men.
I don't do shit that women do. You ain't gonna never catch Boosie doing no whole shit. I'm a man. I let women get all their pride. All the doing woman, I don't get it, bro. I don't understand how be trying to take what women do and do it better. Let the women get their glory, man. Women already got it hard enough. Don't try to do what they do better than them. They got competition with themselves. Why y'all be won't do shit that women do? Let the women, they already in competition with other women. They ain't got time to be in competition with no men too. You sassy.
But the gag was, he had 2 earrings in both of his ears. His ears were pierced. Oh,
he contradicts himself often. I try often not to listen to anything that he says because I feel like when I listen to him, I'm losing brain cells because I feel like he's a very ignorant individual and he doesn't educate himself on things enough to actually speak on them.
You are absolutely right. Lil Boosie is probably one of the most ignorant people out there. But it's just something so captivating about his crazy ass that I just have to listen to him and I just laugh at his ass half of the time. Because he sounds so silly, but he be so funny. I know the LGBTQ community, they be over Boosie because Boosie always got something to say about gay people.
He's internally battling with the fact that he has homosexual tendencies and he doesn't know how to actually accept them. And so this is his way of attacking us because he wants to be bent over.
Or maybe he wants to do the bending.
Either one, he wants to feel the sexual presence of a man. And he don't know how to express it.
You've never just listened to him and just laugh like this nigga is
how
stupid can you get?
I honestly get offended and upset every time I hear him say something to the point where I'm thinking about how can I actually sue him for attacking me as a person.
You are dramatic.
I'm suing all 2024. Everybody else suing for everything else. Why not? He better watch himself. He better tread lightly. Because I'll find a way.
Listen, we'll cut your ass out and keep it moving, child.
And I'll walk away with my 20 million and do all the cursing he wants.
Well, since we were talking about Christianity and we talking about the church people, my church, the Dream Center Church of Atlanta, was in the news at the top of the year. New Year's Eve, my pastor, Bishop William Murphy, you guys know him, Mr. Praise is What I Do. He had a moment in his message for the year, was talking about walking things out in 2024. And he played Walk It Out, in the church, and people was walking it out. But what took the cake was when they decided to swag surf in the sanctuary. I wasn't here.
I was going to ask you.
So I was not in the audience. But the people were angry. that he basically poisoned the sanctuary, a place that's supposed to be consecrated, the place that's supposed to be holy, with worldly or earthly music. Trey, when you saw the Swag Surf video, what did you think? Like, what was going on in your mind?
I'll be completely honest with you. At the time, I didn't know that was your church. But when I saw it, I said to myself, I bet you this is Maurice's church.
No, you didn't. No, you did not. You did not.
I did. I promise you I did. I promise you I did. It's something set in my spirit and it said, that's Maurice's church. And then I had saw you post it and I was like, firm that it's his church. You know, I feel like pastors nowadays, they find ways to bring in the younger generation or any other kind of generation. And when they do that, they attempt in those manners, right? I can see where the people who are upset are coming from, but I can see where his mindset will come from. I mean, at least he wasn't up there talking about, do you want to be swallowed?
I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming?
Swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed? Like, at least he wasn't doing that. So I can get what he was trying to do. But then in the aspect of that, I think the important thing is just remembering what the church is for, what the message is supposed to be given to the church. And so when you have those individuals who are getting upset about it, I can see where they're coming from, but just try to be kind of receptive to what the pastor's trying to do. I'm telling you that the point of releasing things into 2023 so you'll be freer and just more relaxed into 2024. You just walk out all those demons and those negative energy, just walk them out. Just walk out. I commend him for being bold on doing that. And I think that the reason why so many people are so hesitant or don't like going to church is because of those individuals who are like that or who are upset that, oh, it's supposed to be this way. Keep in mind, we're in 2024. We're not in 1944. And so when churches evolve.
But the word of God stands through all times, Trey. The word of God does not change.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
But that's the thing. As long as this pastor is giving the word of God, allow him to deliver the message in a way actually bringing in other people.
I'm glad that you have more of an open mind or a forward mind when it comes to that. Myself, I grew up AME. So when it comes to the sanctuary and the church being a holy place, like, we're big on tradition. We're big on protocol. We couldn't eat in the sanctuary. You weren't supposed to be chewing gum. You don't talk loud in the sanctuary. Like, it's supposed to be a consecrated, a very holy, it's supposed to be a respected place where you encounter God. And people who come from that traditional realm of church, that's why they were so upset. But like, you don't do that in the sanctuary. You don't, bring in earthly elements into the sanctuary. And then also you confuse people as well. With that being said, now as someone who served in the media ministry at my church for a number of years, Bishop Murphy's strategy is very different. It's unconventional. It's not traditional. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. Murph doesn't really fish. And when I say fish, go after. Who do we go after to try to bring people to church? We don't go really after people like me. He doesn't really fish for people who are church. He tries to go after that crowd that's unchurched, or maybe those individuals who have been hurt by church, to try to get them in. Our church does sometimes have a lot of strippers, have a lot of drug dealers, have a lot of entrepreneurs. Our church is really their first interaction or introduction into God.
When you say entrepreneurs, are you mean like content creators?
Content creators. So yes, when I say content creators is now the new word for porn stars. But yes, I've seen some porn stars in my church as well too. I've seen transsexuals in my church, but I've also seen a whole bunch of heterosexuals, a whole bunch of husbands and wives and people who are married with kids. Like, it's a melting pot for a lot of people. And that's one of the reasons why I do like my church, because Murph welcomes everybody. And I think, when we do things like Swag Surf, understand this, we don't do that every Sunday. It's not something that we do a lot at all, to be honest with you. When we do this, we bring them into the church. We bring and introduce them to God. Once they're in the church, then we teach them the foundations of Christianity. We teach them about tithing. We teach them about fasting and praying and living a saved and changing your life. So I think, people have to understand there's different tactics, whether you agree agree with them or not. God gives everyone different assignments. His
Right.
assignment is very, very different. We target a certain demographic of people, and once we get them in, we introduce them to Christ. I ran the social media for the church for a number of years. I can't tell you the number of times of the amount of messages that we used to get of people thanking us or for making them feel welcome and for introducing them to Christ. Praise reports of how this is my first time fasting and this is what God did for me. This is how he honored my sacrifice. Now I know what it means to tithe. Now I know what it means to pray every day, how to read my Bible, how to pray to God. Murph teaches us all of those things. So only thing I would say is don't judge by what you see on social media. You see a moment in time. If you would have listened to his entire message, it was an amazing message, a great way to start off the year. And versus having these people out in the club, possibly getting shot up, it was in church. Again, when I saw it, I kind of cringed too, because I grew up a little bit different. But as a member of the church, I understand what we do and I understand the type of people that we go after.
The Christian folks just got to stop trying to be so controlling of things and be a little more lenient to understanding that people receive messages different.
Well, there's a lot of messages that people have been getting crossed a lot lately, and that's the messages when it comes to Taraji P. Henson. So Taraji started making waves when her and the entire cast of The Color Purple were out doing their press circuit for the movie that was coming out on Christmas Day.
What's that movie?
The movie is The Color Purple.
Oh, okay. You didn't say that. Sorry.
Yes, I did.
No,
I
you
did
didn't.
say The Color Purple.
Oh.
Taraji was doing an interview, and during the interview, she broke down. She became extremely emotional when she talked about the disparities between African-American actresses, specifically around pay. Taraji said that she is so tired of working so hard for only a small portion compared to what other actors and actresses make when it comes to money. Taraji says, yes, I can make $1 million or $2 million a movie, but you have to understand that I have people that I have to pay. I have taxes that I have to pay. And by the end of, that $1 million, I'm only left with maybe about $40,000 after that. And then I have to survive off of that as well too. Trey, what did you think about that portion of what Taraji was saying?
I mean, I feel for her because, so often we saw Taraji so much acting, doing so many different things, right? And then in the process of that, we normally would think, okay, well, she's working. But now we can see that the reason why she's working so hard is because what she's doing is she's making $1 million movies. She's netting maybe the same thing we're making in a year. So of course we can understand that's why she is, working so hard in all these different projects. I feel for her. I feel bad for her. I got emotional with it because me coming from someone performing arts, I can understand where, of course, I'm not as big as her, but I've been in auditions, where I feel like people have been picked over me based on their complexion or the way they look. It hurt me. So just to see someone who actually made it, who's actually having that experience, it's so surreal, and so it makes it seem like, damn, even just me being where I'm at and it happened to me and somebody being where she's at. And we probably deal with the same thing in our careers. When we work in, we may have working so hard and we're doing this with somebody of a different race or different age, maybe
who have some
compensated.
same accolades or credentials as I do,
right.
but
or less.
Or for whatever reason, they are making more. And you can't always say, well, they did a better job with negotiating their contract. It's not about negotiating our contract. It's about the fact that they lowballed us from the beginning. There was that one movie that she did with the Brad Pitt, case of Benjamin Button, made multiple millions of dollars, but she only, made $100,000 off of that film. And she was nominated, if I'm not mistaken, for a supporting Oscar for that particular role. It just speaks to how they tend to lowball us. She went on to say how on the set of even The Color Purple, how they wanted them to drive to work. They offered them or gave them rental cars versus having someone to pick them up with the car service. They didn't have craft services. Craft services on the set is basically food. She had to talk to him about that. And being that she's the veteran of the group on this new one, she's kind of one of the most tenured actors, more mainstream. So that's how she became kind of the spokesperson for them and showing the other actors, don't accept this. Make them give us what they give everybody else. And she had to go to Oprah, and Oprah said, yes, I stepped in. When I heard there wasn't any food, I made sure there was food. People was upset, like Monique, who said that it was just a stunt that Oprah then pulled because Oprah should have made sure that there was food, that they had car services.
Hold on, that was said. Okay, because I didn't miss that. Let me just speak on that real quick, because we all know that Oprah is a very busy woman and she has her hands in a multitude of things. So there was a point where I was on Greenleaf And that's an Oprah show. There was never a point where we weren't fed or we weren't felt like we were taken care of. So, and I feel like when it happened is, of course, Oprah has her hands in it. She has her name on it, but she's not there all the time, right? During filming. And so that may be something that just maybe kind of like slipped under the table. And like you said, when she found out, she fixed it. And that never happened when we was on set of Greenleaf. So for some people to say, oh, what did Monique say?
So basically, her and her husband felt that, you know, it was more of a stunt or performative thing for Oprah to say, oh, when you told me about that, didn't I fix it? And, you know, it was like, yeah, they fixed it, because Danielle Brooks was the first person who said it. It was like, yeah, you know, you did fix it, but you didn't know. Oprah defended herself because she basically said that people have to realize, and this is true, speaking, you know, from an insider perspective, there were tons of producers on this movie. Oprah was not the only producer on The Color Purple.
Right.
Different producers have different roles.
Different jobs. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think to Monique's point, I think she was saying if it was a Meryl Streep movie or if it was a Tom Cruise movie, it wouldn't have been a problem because everything would have been done from the beginning. But it goes to what Taraji was saying, is that sometimes how they lowball us or everything ain't set up. Well, why isn't everything up to par when we come day one on step foot on the set? Why don't we have trailers? We should have trailers. Everybody else have trailers. I think that's what she was saying.
You know, I'm just sick of Monique and her husband.
Monique is alone. They fighting for us. Okay?
There was two people in this world that I am sick and tired of, and it is Monique and her husband. I just feel like Monique is a puppet.
Who's pulling her strings, Trey? She ain't no puppet.
Her husband. He's always here. He's always here. Like he's the puppeteer. Like he's just telling her like what to say. I just feel like sometimes Monique and her husband just need to shut up.
I think sometimes it's not what you say, sometimes it's how you say it.
Or
and
when
I think
you say
sometimes Monique can be a little abrasive, or she can be a little
nosy. None of her
no,
business.
not nosy. She can be a little. She can come across as very aggressive.
Did anybody ask her?
She's
Did anybody ask her for her 2 cents? Right?
Ain't nobody ask us for our 2 cents, but we sit up here on the wind up giving it too.
Giving our opinion on things that happen and take place. But it seems like every time that something comes up that has to do with somebody, some black woman or some black person not being paid enough, Monique and her husband,
but the things that Monique
they gotta come in.
has been true. It's
we get it.
proven to be true. When you
we
talk
get it, girl.
about
You've been blackballed. We get it. You've been blackballed. They ain't paid you enough for the Parkers and for Precious.
But
get
Trey,
it.
you can't dismiss stuff like that because those are real issues that black actors and actresses struggle with. So again, I don't think
that's her struggle.
It's not what she said. I think you don't like the delivery of what she says sometimes.
That's her struggle. That ain't Vivica's struggle. That ain't other people's struggle either.
That's just Monique. You know what? Let's stop there. Let's talk. And I love Vivica Fox, but I felt that was real fucked up of her to do that too when it came to what Taraji was saying. Oh, well, I didn't have that problem, and that very well may be true. I mean, you do an exceptional job of, negotiating your contracts, and maybe your sets are all A+ upon arrival. But if you know that other black actors and actresses struggle with this, don't diminish what they're saying. Oh, that wasn't my struggle. Oh, I didn't have those problems. That very well may be true, but say something other than that, because you are discounting what Taraji has been saying over the last couple of weeks and what Monique has been saying over the last couple of years. What Viola Davis has been saying. If I'm the black Meryl Streep, pay me like I'm the black Meryl Streep. I have the accolades just like she does too.
Yeah, I think that her response was off guard. She basically was asked in the moment. It wasn't like it was any kind of preparation. She was signing autographs and TMZ, started answering her all these questions.
Vivica is a very articulate and calculated woman. She knows exactly.
I feel like if she was in an interview and she was sitting down on a Sherry Shepherd couch and they asked her these questions, maybe she would have been able to answer it differently. However, I do feel like, and this is what I'm sick of, social media taking things and running with it. They're pinning these black women against each other. That's how the whole Oprah against Taraji happened, where supposedly the body language was off and they didn't want to stand next to each other, and Taraji was taking a laugh when it was by Oprah. Social media is so quick to turn these people against each other that is sickening in so many different ways. And I think that if we continue to have these open conversations where we can actually talk to each other and talk about things, like even after the whole thing with the Taraji and Oprah thing happened and she talked about how she wasn't paid enough and they tried to make it seem like there was something off with them, they sat down and they had a conversation. They talked about it. And since y'all gonna make it viral that supposedly we're not getting along. We're gonna make it viral that we're sitting down having a conversation. And I think that's what we should be able to do. Be able to have those open conversations. I think Taraji and Vivica should maybe sit down and be able to have a conversation, because you know there are two powerful black women in Hollywood, and I just don't want it to be where a point where it's beef between them because of something maybe taken out of context where she may have not really meant what it's making it seem like.
Vivica said what the hell she said, Trey. You can sit here and try to be Martin Luther King with your little monotone and your black turtleneck and your African charm around your neck and stuff. I guess this is Martin Luther King Day. You feeling a little inspirational. Bitch, Vivica said what the hell she wanted to say. And what she said was some bullshit. Let me tell you another person who said a lot of bullshit was Katt Williams. Katt Williams is a fool. You hear me? He is a straight up fool. Katt Williams went on Shannon Sharp's show and basically unleashed on every black comedian out there or whatever. I'm talking about he unleashed on Steve Harvey, called Steve Harvey's High Top Fade a man unit. Or
but
whatever.
we knew that already.
Said Steve Harvey stole Mark Curry's show, hanging with Mr. Cooper. He turned into the Steve Harvey show. He basically said Steve Harvey is fake. He treated Bernie Mac wrong. He said Cedric the Entertainer stole some of his jokes. He said Kevin Hart is a transplant in the industry. He basically talked about Ludacris' wife and how all of them have these duck-faced looking women who don't say nothing and don't give any interviews. I mean, Katt just unleashed on everybody. Ricky Smiley, he said that, you know, Ricky Smiley's delusion if he thinks that he was really gonna play that role in Friday. Trey, Katt said a lot. What did you think about Katt? Like, do you believe the things that he said? Because a lot of people tend to believe what he's saying.
You know, Katt Williams has something that's very known to the world. There's a thing that's called short man syndrome. He is really battling first with that because, you know, it's always the little ones, right? Like you have the little dog. Little dogs are always the one that's loud and over aggressive. You got the big ones that's just chill, right? You have Katt Williams. He's short. He's like 4'9", and you know he's loud and over the top and aggressive, right? Rah 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 rah. So I just feel like it wasn't needed. It was coming from a hurt place. Katt Williams could have approached the situation a little differently, but what I feel was it was just a publicity stunt. It was just something to help promote what he got going on. But I think that he's probably burned some bridges. He could have had these conversations with these people who felt hurt by. You know, he kind of just dragged everybody who's been in the same circle as him. Katt Williams has always been funny to me. He's gonna be funny. He's just a funny person. But he lost some cool points for me for this whole interview.
I didn't understand what his intentions was by dragging everybody. I don't know who pissed Katt off or why they pissed him off, but I just think kind of saying the things that he did, it just wasn't good. I didn't think it was good. I didn't think it, you know, it did Shannon Sharp an amazing job. He got the views on his show. Like his show is official now. Oh,
yeah, he's official.
Official before you, it's official now.
Absolutely.
But I didn't understand where his apparent anger came from. Why he was so angry with everyone. Because he's achieved success in his own right. When it comes to the whole touring and stand-up thing, that has that on lock. The other people who he was kind of griping with, to me, some of them have had more success, you know, when it comes to the box office, or even when it comes to television. They may have more mainstream success than him, but he has success in his own right. We got to stop being crabs in the buckets pulling each other down. We have to stop doing that to each other. No one is our worst enemy than ourselves. And we can't expect Hollywood or any other industry to treat us any better if we're not treating ourselves or treating each other better. And I think that was my whole thing with Vivica Fox. Like, yes, your plight may be different, but don't kind of undercut Taraji.
One of the things that really bothered me, it was like Shannon Sharp. So, Katt, how you doing? Well, Steve Harvey's hair is fake. You know, like, nigga, can we
get a transplant? Cedric the Entertainer stole all my damn jokes.
Like, why are you so mad?
People went and they filed receipts. I don't know.
2024 is a hurt man season, okay? Babe. Still trying to find out who hurt Christian Keys.
Some people saying it's TD Jakes now, child.
I mean, obviously he done got paid off. What his goal was to get paid, and obviously that person paid him, and he ain't leaking nothing. So,
yeah. We want to thank you guys for watching again this episode of The Wind Up. Please make sure that you like this video, share it on all of your social media platforms. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And we will see you guys on the next episode. And remember to tell yourself, I am good enough each and every day. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you next time.